afternoon, Coventry, and welcome to iCov with me, Yasmin Seaman.
And I'm Christina Zotomirova. We have an absolutely jam-packed show for you guys today.
We certainly do. This week we'll be looking at the inspiring homeless handbag appeal in Coventry, transphobia targeted towards Caitlyn Jenner following her appearance on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and the ongoing strikes happening outside our studio today in Coventry University, along with sports, news and weather.
And on that note, let's hand you over to Joey, who has the latest news for us.
Thank you ever so much, guys. We've got a jam-packed day here on the news desk. Let's get right to it. According to a Resolution Foundation report, child poverty risks reaching a record high under the Conservative Party. The party's manifesto does not propose changes to existing benefit policy, and as a result, child poverty could reach a 60-year high of 34% by 2023, while the Lib Dems would be 29.7%, the think tank has stated. A Conservative spokesman defended the Tories' actions on tackling poverty, saying the Prime Minister has committed to giving every child in the country the opportunities to make the most of their talents. Australian police said on Tuesday that they have found the body of a British backpacker who ran away from his campsite last weekend.
Surf Lifesaving Victoria had a boat up and down the Jellybrand, and we're also patrolling some of the offshoots, and they've located Mr. King about 1.5 kilometres from where he's gone missing in an offshoot of the Jellybrand, which is the Serpentine Creek.
And he's been formally identified now?
He's been formally identified by some of...
Aslan King was camping with 4 British friends in the Victorian town of Princeton, along with Australia's southeast coast, when he disappeared early Saturday. Brown said police believe the 25-year-old had a seizure and hit his head and then suddenly got up and ran from the area into the surrounding bushland. The search effort included a mounted police and police aircraft, specialist bushwalking teams, sniffer dogs and volunteers. Rescue crews used excavators to search for survivors trapped in toppled apartment buildings after a powerful pre-dawn earthquake in Albania killed at least 8 people and injured more than 300. The 6.4 magnitude quake was felt across the southern Balkans early Tuesday and was followed by multiple aftershocks. The quake collapsed at least 3 apartment buildings while people slept, and rescue crews were working to free people believed to be trapped. There was no indication as to how many people might still be buried under the rubble. The US Geological Survey said the magnitude 6.4 quake, which struck just before 4 a.m. local time, had an epicenter 19 miles northwest of the capital, Tirana, at a depth of 12 miles. Scores of aftershocks included 3 preliminary magnitudes of 5.1 and 5.4. And finally, London's Transit Authority has refused to renew Uber's operating licence over concerns about imposter drivers. The ride-hailing company vowed to appeal the decision as it struggles to secure its future in the British capital. It's the latest chapter in Uber's rocky relationship with London transport officials, who have subjected the San Francisco-based tech company to ever tighter scrutiny over concerns about passenger safety and security.
And we want it to be safe and sustainable, professional, and reliable. Then the operators, need to be healthy. They need to be alert. They need to be well trained. They need to know the rules of the road, and that takes investment, and that costs money in operations.
That's all from the news desk. Stay tuned to watch Judge Cakes later. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Joey. Coventry's branch of the Teachers' Union are currently on strike for the 2nd day in the last week. Reporter Joe Pepper has more.
An unfair appraisal system and unfair pay. That's what these strikers want to get changed at Coventry University.
Solidarity! It was very much about seeing the staff at best as a resource that could be exploited.
I'm Stephen Cowden. I'm a social work lecturer at Coventry University, and I was chair of the branch. Coventry University is a university that has a very ambitious growth plan. But the ambitious growth plan involves not just growing the existing terms and conditions. Essentially, the university is intending to grow itself by degrading staff terms and conditions. We've also got substantial anecdotal evidence is that the performance review system discriminates against women, discriminates against black and ethnic minority members of staff, discriminates against staff with disabilities. So we've been asking for over a year for the university to show us data on that, because they do collect it, but they refuse to give it to us. We don't like having to go on strike. Staff who work at the university care very much about their students, and we feel bad about the inconvenience caused by students, but we really just haven't been given the alternative.
If you look at what is happening at senior management level, they don't really care. We're always the first people to go when it comes to cutting down costs, right? They can retire anytime they want to, and they'll be better off for the rest of their lives. And we need to change how the institution works. And to change this, we have to be collective, because the systems that the university has created has put us into corners. Everybody is afraid to be blacklisted. Everybody is afraid to come and talk. Everybody is afraid to take an action. Why? Because the university has perfected the system of ritualization.
Staff appraisal team is rotten to the core. Coventry staff appraisal team is rotten to the core. Coventry staff appraisal team is rotten to the core, and we will strike it out.
National Cake Day falls on November 26th, which is today. No one really knows how this holiday came about, but we all know we love to eat cake.
So in order to celebrate it today, we have Katie and Charlotte versus Tom and Joy, who are going to compete on who will make the best cake decoration.
So they both have until the end of the day to decorate as many cupcakes as possible in the most creative way, and somebody from behind the scenes will judge.
Now, more of a local news, Coventry's Ring Road is one of the most iconic and recognizable feature, but following recent reports highlighting
Coventry's Ring Road is one of the most striking present examples of the UK's motoring boom during the 1950s and 60s. The Ring Road, also known as the A4053, was first built in the late 1950s, with the first section opened in 1962. In 2019, however, it's arguably fallen out of fashion. A recent list by the BBC put Coventry's Ring Road as one of the worst in the UK, and the latest report from the Transport of the West Midlands has highlighted the Ring Road as a KSI hotspot zone, which is an area with exceptionally high number of serious or fatal incidents. But what do the residents think of their Ring Road?
I've seen people have accidents on it, fortunately not myself, but yes, it could be a lot better, a lot easier to use than that, and a lot better signed. I think is probably the biggest problem there.
For me, it's a love-hate relationship with the Ring Road. Like, I feel like the rush hour period is incredibly busy for me, and especially near the junctions itself when I'm trying to get on and off, it's always backed up with traffic. I'm waiting half an hour just to get off one junction itself, especially near the train station. This is where I feel like a need for change.
The car isn't as fashionable today as it once was. Many cities are in fact taking measures to actively remove vehicle counts off their roads today, with London's congestion charge being a prime example. Concrete is also prone to getting dirty and is now woefully out of fashion. Some walls of the Ring Road were recently revamped, but it's arguably done very little to help. And then there's the question of actually driving on the Ring Road. With a 40-mile-an-hour limit, tight bends, and junctions that share slip roads with each other, it can be incredibly daunting for new drivers. The Ring Road does serve an important purpose though, of keeping traffic out of the city centre, which has been pedestrianised in recent years. Are there any alternatives? You could potentially flatten the Ring Road, which would get rid of its ugly concrete structure. But then that would mean that you have to stop at roundabouts at every junction, which would surely increase congestion. Or you could be even more dramatic and take the whole ring road underground, only coming up to the surface for the junctions. It would definitely open up the city, but it's bound to be hugely expensive and therefore probably unjustified. Coventry's ring road may not be to our 21st century taste, but it continues to be a vital artery to the city's road network. With no plans to change the infamous loop anytime soon, it looks set to continue to be the road we love to hate.
Now, we're all on social media and iCov. Remember, you can tweet us at media_iCov with your thoughts whenever you so desire. So that's why we welcome Daisy on the sofa to talk about #trending. What's going online, Daisy? How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Tell us about these trending topics.
So, it was a big weekend in music with the American Music Awards, aka the MAs, and as usual, surrounded by drama.
How so?
Well, so let's start with Taylor. Her performance was amazing, but there was loads of controversy over her performing some of her older songs, like Love Story, thanks to her ongoing rift with manager Scooter Braun over her back catalogue.
So what actually happened during the performance with Taylor? Like, did she perform her songs?
Taylor won out in the end, but put in an amazing performance.
I don't see why she wasn't allowed to perform it in the first place. I mean, you know, all artists have right to their music, no matter who buys the company. She wrote it, she made it, she sang it.
She's allowed to sing it, yeah.
Exactly.
So then there's also Halsey dragging the Grammys. I think we've got her a speech for you.
Most of these awards really aren't what they seem at all. But that's okay, because I'm up here right now and I am so thankful to the AMAs because they are the world's largest fan-voted award show.
Well, I see how that could be misconstrued, but I think what Halsey was trying to say is, you know, she has that award, but she's more than her award. She's not just a materialistic title. She's her own artist. I don't really think an award makes a person, do you?
No, I don't think so. I think it's their music that represents them.
I agree.
Yeah. Next up on trending is Vent Your Rent, a viral hashtag passed around on social media that offers students living in subpar student accommodation to share their experiences and footage of mouldy rooms, cold rooms and broken mattresses.
That's right, students across the country are venting their frustrations with their rented accommodations. Launched by Generation Rent, a community-based organisation that helps renters connect to solve issues with their dodgy living situations and help educate on their tenant rights. Christina, you had issues with renting, didn't you?
Well, yeah, that's correct. And actually, now when I'm hearing about it is a very good idea that students could talk to someone about it, because I feel like generally in Coventry, people just take advantage of students because we don't have a choice. And for the last 3 months, I've been living in this new apartment, and I have had so many issues about it since I moved in, like lamp's not working, the extractor's not working, chair is in horrible condition, and most importantly, I can't even take a normal shower.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I've been trying to contact them for ages, but they're just sending me to someone else, and no one can do anything about this while I'm paying like a quite high rent, so I don't understand what I have to do.
So they're really taking you around the region, aren't they?
Well, yeah, exactly, and it's so annoying. It's been so long.
How much do you pay for rent, out of curiosity?
Well, it's nearly 1,000 a month, so it's ridiculous.
And they're making you live in these kind of conditions for that kind of money. That is the reality of a lot of students in Coventry.
Yeah, the guy's like, can you send me a picture of how the shower is not working? And then I can't see on the picture. I mean, what does he expect? Me to send him a video showering?
Yeah. I think the big issue here is student safety and little repercussions towards those landlords involved. According to Save the Student, the average cost of rent for students in 2019 is around £631 a month. That may not seem like a lot to some, but for struggling students, that rent cost is everything.
Absolutely. If you have dodgy accommodation pictures or stories, then don't forget you can tweet us them at media_iCov. That's our trending stories. Thank you so much, Daisy.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're halfway through the cake timer now. Let's check on the cakes. Cakes, reveal yourself.
So very good cakes are being presented.
Guys, what's going on? Show us your cakes. Explain to us.
So
I'm not ready just yet.
Here I have a triple decker butterfly cake in the process of being made. It looks quite beautiful. I've carefully decided to snip out this.
Can we hear the judge's opinions about the
cake?
cakes,
Joe, what do you think?
In terms of cakes, I believe that Charlotte's is by far the best. She's going for a classic McDonald's burger and chips through the use of cake. And Joel, I must say that you're bottling it right now. You're not getting a handshake.
Well,
That's great. Those look awesome, guys. They look very yummy. Oh, making me hungry, aren't they?
And in entertainment news, we're talking about rap. Are you a rap fan yourself, Yasmin?
I would say I'm more of an R&B fan. I mean, rap is great, but like old 90s R&B is where it's at.
Really? So you are not into like more new rap and stuff?
Not really, no. It's not really my forte.
Okay, that's fine. So for this week we have our reporter Jamie Garwood, who went down to the newly set up Wu-Tang exhibition showcasing their Gods of Rap tour at Coventry Centre Circle.
I'm here in Coventry Market Centre Circle, where a newly unveiled photography exhibition showcasing legendary rap group
Do you want to move to the other side of the thing
and
now?
their Gods of Rap tour is up and running.
The
exhibition is the first of many for Coventry's newly set up community gallery space. I spoke to Simon Peter Green, the ex-tour and production manager for Wu-Tang Clan, on his exhibition.
So the exhibition is about a tour that happened in the spring called The Gods of Rap, which featured Wu-Tang Clan headline, Public Enemy, De La Soul, and DJ Premier. I used to be the tour manager for Wu-Tang Clan, and in a lot of ways I'm still a member of the family. So I went to see the first show in Wembley, and Divine, the manager, who has been my boss, said, "Hey Simon, why don't you come on the tour?" So I did. It's recognised in the industry that Wu-Tang Clan are quite difficult to manage on the road, to say the least. Now, I don't find that. They are real professionals and easy to work with in my view. They got their ways, but hey, who hasn't? So, yeah, once I worked for Wu-Tang Clan, my phone started to go more regularly for other artists, because the feeling was, you know, if you can work with Wu-Tang Clan, you can do anything. But I hadn't planned to do this exhibition. It just came out of circumstances. Which is great. But now what you see is an amazing gallery space. So I am the first artist to exhibit in this space. It's been such a privilege, but I won't be the last. The market management are intending to ask local artists or whatever to come through every 2 or 3 weeks.
I also spoke to Coventry Market manager Brian Sexton on his decision to showcase the exhibition and his plans for the future of the new gallery space.
I mean, we wanted to create something that anybody could come and use. So it doesn't have to be a photographic exhibition, it can be writing, it can be three-dimensional things, it can just be anything really that engages with the community. And this is quite a diverse community in here, and it's an exciting place to be in. It's an unpredictable, vibrant space. So, you know, people are open, that people will just come in and just make use of the space for whatever they want to do. Because we're looking to exhibit stuff that you wouldn't normally find within a market. So I'm not really keen on putting in somebody who can crochet, you know, dolls' dresses. This is about things that challenge the community and also challenge the artists in putting things that are in a different environment, in an environment where you wouldn't expect to see things. We've got an exhibition of a London artist that we own quite a bit of their work for. So we've been announcing that shortly, that will go up. And then we've had quite a few inquiries from people from this exhibition, so we'll start to book those in. So yeah, I'm quite happy that we're going to have it at full for at least the next few months anyway.
The Wu-Tang Clan exhibition will be ending in just a few days. However, many think this is just the start for Coventry's new gallery space. Jamie Garwood, iCov News.
Now on to our next story, second-hand recycling. Christina, are you a second-hand recycler? Have you ever recycled things before?
Well, yeah, to be fair, actually this year, because of like my super cool flat, I also get a very tiny wardrobe, so I didn't have space for half my clothes, which I actually donated to charity shops.
I think a lot of millennials have started to do second-hand recycling now because it's become trendy, and especially like recycling your old accessories, because I don't think a lot of people realise they can benefit other people. Our reporter Maisie Hancock has spoken to the councillor from Stratford-upon-Avon who is turning old handbags into useful items for homeless people.
Stratford-upon-Avon is known as an affluent area within Warwickshire, but still has people living on its streets. Tackling homelessness, the former mayor of Stratford-upon-Avon, Victoria Alcock, now a councillor for the Lib Dems, has set up Handbags for the Homeless, partnered with Helping Hands charity. It aims to make sure every person on the streets has access to a handbag to hold important documents, sanitary items, and useful non-harmful toiletries to initiate them back into society without any judgment.
As a woman, I've always kept anything of any importance to me in my handbag because it's always with me. Finding out that a lot of women, when they're made homeless or they're in a refuge, for whatever reason, generally have nothing like that. But they get given a lot of information, a lot of people's contact details. I've got nowhere to put it. So I started doing the Handbag for the Homeless campaign 5 years ago to try and get women who needed them items in the bags that they would require at that time. A personal encounter I had with a woman who was on the streets, and she wasn't begging. She wasn't asking people for money, she was just obviously homeless. I'd never ever give money to homeless, but I did stop this day and I said, can I go and buy you a sandwich? And she said, no, what actually I need some pads. Through a bit of research and a bit of looking, I did go and buy the pads, but there was a bit of research I found out with talking with the police, sanitary products are one of the highest shoplifted items in the homeless community. Because when you can't afford to buy food, buying sanitary products is not going to happen. So a lot of people living on the streets have nothing. Need a difference across the board. People are looking for other ways that they can help, that they can donate. And this being such a very simple concept is starting to filter through to other areas now. The first lot of bags have already gone out. They went out yesterday to a sort of a pop-up bus almost. It'll just be for emergency shelter for homeless, but they needed products, toothbrush, toothpaste, be able to give to people on that bus ready. So they launch tomorrow, and they've already had the first load of handbags that I've given out.
That was really interesting, but now we head to Jamie with the Sports Bulletin.
Thank you, guys. New Zealand captain Kane Williamson is to personally apologise to England cricketer Jofre Archer after the latter was subjected to racial abuse by a Kiwi supporter. Kane Williamson has broken his silence on the racial abuse incident after Jofre Archer by a New Zealand supporter who is yet to be identified. He said, "It is against everything, not just the cricket team, but we Kiwis are all about." Doesn't make sense. And we hope this never be repeated again. Doesn't make sense. Williamson also said that he would try to definitely apologise to Archer in person if he sees him in the next few days. Ben Stokes emerges as the bookies' favourite to become the first cricketer since 2005 to become the BBC Sports Personality of the Year. No cricketer since Andrew Flintoff, on the back of his Ashes heroics in 2005, has won the prestigious award. But if the bookies have believed England cricketer Ben Stokes on the back of his instrumental role in England's first ever World Cup triumph, followed by his Ashes heroics over the summer, could become the BBC Sports Personality of the Year in 2019. The next favourite, according to the bookies, is Dina Asher-Smith, who became the first British woman to win a major global sprint title as she bagged a 200-metre gold in the World Championships in Doha. She is followed by England and Manchester City forward Raheem Sterling. Katrina Johnson-Thompson, Alan Wynne-Jones and Lewis Hamilton complete the 6-strong shortlist. That's all the sports. Back to you guys.
Now, in entertainment news, I'm a Celebrity has returned to our tellies for another year of grilling Bushtuka trials and voting to your king of queen or queen of the jungle. But a big talking point of the show this year is one contestant, Caitlyn Jenner, and the surging rise of transphobia building online following her appearance on the show.
Since the first episode in the 19th series, a spew of online hatred has surged surrounding the Kardashian alumni's 2015 gender transition that has now made her Caitlyn Jenner. This includes sharing photos of her before transition, using her dead name, which was her name before she transitioned, and crude comments of her body that revealed while she was showering on the show. A lot of people online have condemned this behaviour because, banter or not, it opens a gateway to transphobia. What do you think, Christina?
I think that most of the comments are actually from men, so men are the ones who are not very acceptable compared to women who are usually quite supportive to that type of topics and transgender people and so on.
Yeah, it builds into that kind of bigger discussion of toxic masculinity and how men don't want to see themselves outside of their own conventional idea of what being a man is. There's been a lot of backlash as well, especially because of like rumours surrounding her family. What do you think about that backlash?
Well, I think that this show is about like something else, and I believe that they're actually not trying to represent transgender people or whatever. They're just like using the point that she's famous, and that's why just they are taking advantage of it. So they don't really care in a deep sense of it.
Yeah, I agree as well. Regardless, though, I think people should treat Caitlyn Jenner with respect. Like, whether you care about her gender or not, she is still a human being, and whether she's on a reality TV show or not, like, her as a person and her as a reality TV star are completely different things. Therefore, I don't think they should link. I don't think her gender has anything to do with how she is as a contestant.
Well, yeah, I feel like we can sit here and chat all day about this, but now it's time to go to Ioana with the weather for today.
Thanks, guys. Rainy spells all over Coventry today, but by the evening things will dry out. Showers to come in from the west overnight and may turn into longer spells of rain. Highs of 10 degrees. Back to you guys.
And now it is time to go and see who wins the cake competition. Joey is going to be the cake judge, so let's just get over to them.
Well, we're done here.
Yeah, I think we're all done.
Joel, let's give an insight on yours.
Okay,
What's yours?
the thinking behind it originally was to go with more of a butterfly kind of cake, and obviously that didn't pan out. So then I went with more of a Baby Yoda themed cake with eyebrows, eyes, mouth, and ears. And as you can see, it's turned out very well.
Okay, with mine, well, don't really have much to say about mine, to be honest with you, because quite on the spot. But we got a W here, because winners, yeah, champions, obviously. This one, I just liked the pattern and I just put stars in it. And this one, I thought looked nice, like little X. Sorry, all the decorations falling off everywhere.
It's very conceptual, Tom.
Yeah, I think the X with the little swish down here looks nice.
Yeah.
And, we used all of the materials we had, and like
Good try.
Katie over there who cheated with the cookies.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we'll get onto that later.
What about you,
So I've got a McDonald's here. I've got my cheeseburger. I've got my chips. I've even got a little pot of ketchup.
Oh my god.
Look.
It looks yummy.
Thank you.
More like a meal though.
Okay,
no
so
ketchup.
instead of cheating, I'd say I was resourceful and put a little cookie on top of mine, which I think is quite cute. And then I've got some.
Yours is so organised and polished. I love it.
Thank you.
But I mean, it's down to you, Joe. You are the cake connoisseur. Which is the best one?
Well, the least we could say is at least Tom tried. Joel, your cake did look good, but right now it looks like it's covered in some form of fluid we shouldn't get into on a PG show. And of course we've got the, so that leaves us with the girls' lovely cake creations, but with the presentation and the resourcefulness used, I'm going to have to give it to Katie.
Well done, Katie. You're the winner. I don't know what you win, but you win something.
We're a team. We're okay. We technically both were.
Can I just say that she did use an illegal piece of
Illegal.
decoration?
It's
Who else
resourceful.
used a cookie? Who else got that luxury?
But
Resourcefulness does not trump creativity.
Also creativity, boring.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time for this week's show.
As always, we hope you've enjoyed watching this week. You can reach out to us on our normal social media on Twitter and Instagram to have your say, and we hope you tune in next week.
Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.